Cutting costs for your big day is something most couples face. But how do you cut corners without you or your guests feeling the crunch?
Number one, a thought really to your number of guests. If you can cut 10, 20, 50 people, you can keep the level of quality at exactly where you may have first imagined.
Getting married off-season at a time that your location and all your vendors aren't as popular or busy so that they can negotiate.
It's not just the season, but the day and time of day that affects your bottom line.
Some venues will provide you some form of a discount if you book on a Friday or a Sunday because those days aren't necessarily always full. If you do something in the afternoon, a Saturday afternoon is certainly going to cost you less than a Saturday evening. A Sunday brunch is really wonderful. Very different style of menu, of course, but it certainly is a meal period that would be less expensive than doing a dinner.
And if you plan to party more than partake in food...
It is a budget-saving tip to be able to cut out one of the courses of your meal.
But what about those little extras like the toast?
Do you want to do the toast or not? And if you do, consider having people drink the wine that they're either having dinner. Most of them have something to drink, whether it's their sparkling water or wine. Don't open up. Have you ever noticed how much that people will waste in champagne that they don't want?
And when you sit down to dessert?
A lot of people aren't even going to eat the wedding cake. You can have sweet little desserts or a dessert table or a dessert and candy table and not have the wedding cake, or if you want to keep with that tradition, do a much smaller cake and people get bites of it.
Instead of having your cake heavily encrusted in sugar flowers, which is labor intensive, you decide to get a plain fondant cake and put a cake topper on it or decorate it with a photograph or something simple and inexpensive.
And when it comes to decor, you can do it yourself or do something a bit more modern.
Really looking at modern floral arrangements, smaller ones, spots of colors that are little beautiful, perfect flowers that are really nicely done in little square vases with satin edges in your colors, but cutting down on those huge arrangements and really considering that, I don't have to have every surface covered in flowers, and it's just as elegant and really beautiful.
And for the do-it-yourselfer?
So much you can make yourself. We have been noticing that a lot of people are really loving the downloadable art because things like programs, table numbers, favors, there's so much that you can do yourself today with technology. Can save you so much money. Music on an MP3 player. I think the trick is prioritizing.
And when you prioritize, don't feel like you have to sacrifice your dream.
For the bride who dreams of having the gorgeous Sylvia Weinsack cake covered with sugar roses, they should definitely still have that, but they'll just cut back somewhere else.
Just be sure not to lose sight of the meaning of your big day.
At the end of the day, the wedding is not about the abundance of the number of roses that it's in the centerpiece or how heavily decorated the cake is. It's about you finding your soulmate and kind of celebrating with people who are close to you, no matter how big or small.
No matter how big or small, remember,
if you are on a budget, you should make a budget and you should try to stick with it.